One quick thing that I want to touch on within our application about authentication is that in our application, we're using the login component to log in our users every time they visit our application, as well as between page refreshes. So when a user first visits our app, they're going to log in, and if they successfully log in, onSuccess will be called. And also, whenever the page refreshes, whether it's manually or automatically, our user is going to be kicked back to the login route, where they'll automatically be logged in once again. And once again, if it's successful, then onSuccess is going to be executed. We'll dispatch both login user as well as is logged in. However, at a certain point, if our user's been logged in for a long enough period of time, we'll get an error from our server, namely our user controller, giving us this error telling us the token is used too late. In other words, the token that was signed for the user, the auth token, that we've provided on our authorization header isn't valid anymore. It won't be valid after a certain period of time according to OAuth. But the error that's going to result from this is that our login component is going to keep trying to log in our user. So it'll make a request to our backend, continuously sending off that ID token, and then all the way back in our server file, context is going to intercept that, and it's just going to keep returning an error message. So in order to prevent this from happening, in order to kick our user out of the application when their ID token is invalid, we need to dispatch, once again, is logged in, and we'll do that within onFailure because we're catching any errors in onFailure. So when there's a failed login, we'll dispatch is logged in and pass through a payload of false. So this means that on our global state, the isAuth property is going to be false, and therefore, in our protected route, when this render function is executed from this ternary, what will be returned is a redirect to the login route. So now that we're handling expired ID tokens within our application, let's move on to the next step.